God bless everybody today on this wonderful, wonderful morning, weekday morning. And I hope everybody's doing well. I am blessed to be able to come to you guys on a weekly basis, some via posts on Facebook or definitely on YouTube. I hope and pray that my ministry that God has given me is encouraging you. Shout out to Humble Soldiers, Rich Retired, Chef Tiff, Team Cars, my Richmond folks, Ron, Boo Boo, Meet Major, T Newby, I can go on, the drivers, and so on and so on. My mother, my father, my sister, and all my friends, my grandbabies. Oh Lord, they touched my heart. I get them this Friday again. So I'm excited about that. I look forward to that. Whether I got to work or not, I still look forward to that. Shout out to Bishop Curtis Jackson, and all my friends and colleagues. I just thank you so much for joining in with me on a weekly basis. I do this for you guys, and it's helping myself. Shout out to my hometown, Norfolk, Virginia. All my people that I went to school with, I belong to you guys. Thank you for all your support. Shout out to my Hampton folks over there. I see you've been chiming in a lot lately over there on those Harmac hallways. We thank God for you guys. So today, great opportunity to get a inspiring word from the God today. We're going to tap into a message. I want to say, choose your battles wisely. You got to learn to choose your battles wisely. We are a little older now. I know when I was younger, I did not choose my battles wisely. I came up in an environment where you had to know how to fight. It wasn't guns and all that stuff around. If they were around, they won't as shown as much as they are now. And so back then, you had to have a good 1 or 2 piece with you to make sure you had your game right. You couldn't live in my hood and couldn't fight. That just wasn't an option. Shout out to Campus Stoller, Granny Park, all the parks around. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So we want to get into choosing your battles wisely. We're a little older now, so we got to fight a little bit different. And now we got a little bit more understanding and wisdom now. So we got to use that. We got kids and grandkids coming up on us, and we can't take the same measures, use the same measures that we used back then now, because we got a generation that's watching us, that's expecting us to at least lead the way. Now they can make the way. Okay, we can lead the way. And the young folks come in and they just make a way and keep on striving. So want to touch on a couple of scriptures. And my subject, they're going to be choose your battles wisely. We're going to talk about that. I was planning on doing it in 2 days. I might can get most of it done today. If not, we can pick it up on another day. But mainly, I just want to dip into it. And so a couple of scripture references I want to use. I'm going to start in Romans first. Romans chapter 8, I want to read verse 31. I'm going to read verse 31 and 37. But 31 says, what then shall we say to these things? If God is for us, who can be against us? If God is for us, who can be against us? I want you to keep that in your mind, because a lot of us don't understand that, especially as believers. If we have God for us, who can be against us? There's no win against God, period. And if he is on your side, it's a win-win. Even if you don't understand what you're seeing in the battle. Okay, this other verse is going to confirm, which is verse 37, and say, yet in all these things, we are more than conquerors through him who loved us, talking about Jesus Christ. So when I got to the battle, I was already a conqueror. I didn't even have to open up my mouth. And if I did, it was even better, because I opened it up with confidence. So we want to learn to choose our battles wisely. Now let me turn over here to 2 Chronicles chapter 20. I'm going to read one verse, and this is when the Lord was speaking, had a prophet speak to King Jehoshaphat, who was getting attacked when Israel was getting attacked by the Amorites, and people of Moab, and they was just Israel was getting ready to get attacked again, and so the king needed to hear a word from the Lord, and the prophet came. God sent a prophet to Jehoshaphat to and gave him this message in chapter 50 in 2 Chronicles chapter 20 and verse 15, and it reads, and he said, listen, all you of Judah and all the inhabitants of Israel, and you, King Jehoshaphat, thus says the Lord to you, do not be afraid or dismayed because of this great multitude. Talking about the enemy, the army that was coming against him. He said, for the battle is not yours, but God's. I love the end part of that verse. The battle is not yours, not God. Choose your battles wisely. Okay? Can't just fight everything that we see. I was a frontline guy back in the day. Didn't have no problem running to the front line and fighting, just like David. Now I'm a little older, and I have to be a little wiser in choosing my battles. So let's get right into it. Choosing your battles wisely. Now, after all, life isn't measured by how many times you stood up to fight. It's not winning the battles that makes you happy, but it is how many times, hear me, you turned away and chose to look into a better direction. Life is too short to spend it on warring. Fight only the most important ones, the most important battles, and then let the rest of them go. And choose your battles. Choose your battles means what? What does it mean? Choose the battle means to be selective of the problems, arguments, and confrontations that you get involved in. Instead of fighting every problem, you save your time only for things that matter. This means fighting the most important battles and letting, like I said, the rest go. And there are some steps that we can take that can help us on choosing the right battles to fight and not choosing the wrong battles to fight. It's a couple of steps that I want to go through, a few steps I want to go through that can help you because ultimately, if God, like I said over here in Romans, God is for us, who can be against us? That's number one. But in this world, we deal with an adversary, Satan, devil, whoever you want to call it, and he's always trying us. So you can't avoid not fighting battles, but you can choose to choose them wisely, because knowing the facts of your life and the facts of my life is that we have God on our side. So it's a win-win. But as humans, people pull us into battles on a regular basis because of this flesh. And so we need to learn how to approach a battle, learn to choose which battles to fight and which battles just to let go. Because we know we have God and we know we more than conquerors. Point blank. Okay? First thing we want to do is we want to evaluate the problem. And believe it or not, most of the things that disrupt us on a daily basis are what? Are small, petty things with no impact in the long run. This includes toxic people, that's right, and people who try to get us down. Now, when faced with a problem, you want to ask yourself a few things. Is this problem really important? Is it worth me really getting into this problem, this battle right now? Is it really important? You need to stop and ask yourself that. Do I need to deal with it right now? Is it something I can deal with later? Can my time be better spent elsewhere? These are the questions that we need to ask ourselves before we engage in a battle. We need to choose wisely. But we never stop to ask ourselves these questions. So therefore we jump in, and then it's more, we blow it up, and it's more than what we thought it would be. And it's time costly, and everything gets stressed out because we jump right in without thinking the whole matter out. And I call, sometimes we got to do what I call a cost-benefit analysis. Cost-benefit analysis is when facing when you facing an impending battle, doing a cost-benefit analysis helps you decide if the battle is worth fighting. Do the costs outweigh the benefits? If the answer is yes, then generally it's better to let it go and move on. What are the odds of success in this battle? If the odds of success are very low, then it may be better just to move on as well. Now, sometimes you got to go for a win-win and not a win-lose. I know that sounds strange to some folks, but a win-win. If you're in the business like me of encouraging people and winning souls to Christ and, just giving people a better perspective on their walk in life, a lot of times you got to go for a win-win. I'm not expecting you, God is not expecting you to get along with everybody. But, go for the win-win and not the win-lose. And some of you may be surprised by this suggestion that I just made. Why win-win and not win-lose like normal people? Win or lose. Why win-win? Tell you why. Why helps my opponent win? Why should I help my opponent win? You may think to yourself, why should I help him win? The reason is simple. When you have a mindset to squash others, destroy them, you adopt a what I call a scarcity mindset that's rooted in lack, where there must always be a winner and a loser, and where there is a lack of opportunities for everyone. You develop this mindset that's rooted in lack. So that means you got to win at all costs, and you don't want to give nobody the opportunities, nobody to win but you. That's the mindset some of us have when we go into these battles that we take on. We don't even consider the other person. We consider just what we want to do in the battle and win by any means. We have to change that mindset. Sometimes we gotta, like somebody told me, it's better to lead with an ally than an enemy. It's better to have an ally than an enemy. At least y'all have one thing in common. You might have a common enemy, but you're not enemies of each other. You might, even if you're enemies of each other, you have a common enemy or a common goal that you want to accomplish together, even if you don't get along with some people like you normally do. And so you need to always open yourself up for discussion and not being so argumentative every time a battle is about to come your way. Have an open discussion sometimes. Respect that the other person has their views and goals, and that they may be different from yours, from ours. To achieve a win-win, hear them out, and then expect to discuss the best outcome for both of you. Yes, open discussion helps you choosing your battles wisely. A lot of us don't want to hear people all the way out. We always finish their sentence for them, or we always butt in before they get their point. I'm one that was guilty of that many times. But when I started and asked God to help me to hear people all the way out, I realized that I was fighting an unnecessary battle. You need to ground yourself in high consciousness. And what did I mean? Don't get angry. Remember, your goal is to achieve a win-win. To not to bring your opponent down. The enemy here is the conflict at hand, not the other person. I need you to understand that. The enemy is the conflict at hand, not the other person. We're not saying that the Bible tells us to get along with all men as much as possible. But the enemy is the conflict, not the other person. Let's resolve and talk about the conflict and resolve the conflict. We don't have to have the animosity, like you said, towards each other. I talked to a friend yesterday, CEO of Humble Soldier, who was just telling me sometimes you just got, you got to raise your voice and say, hey, we're not going to keep letting the enemy come between what we have as friends. We're not going to keep battling and going down that road. We're going to choose our battles wisely. We're going to come to open discussion, hear each other out. You scream, I scream, or whatever the situation may be, to get to a win-win situation and not a win-lose. Now, I said the enemy is a conflict at hand. Now, before you enter the battle, imagine yourself. I want you to imagine you're in a calm, peaceful place. No one can hurt you. Okay? No one can hurt you or take you away from that place. Just imagine yourself in a calm, peaceful place. No one can hurt you. No one can take you away from the place. Unless you what? Unless you let them. Try to engage in a peaceful way. If you feel that you are losing your cool, stop talking and compose yourself. When you are entering into a conflict or a battle, and you feel that you, not the other person, are losing your cool, you need to stop talking and get yourself together. The enemy always tries to get you to keep talking as your feelings of discontent and feelings of anger and whatever you have going on, which is start to raise up inside of you. He wants you to keep talking to increase and intensify that moment, but you need to sometimes just stop talking and compose yourself, even if you got to walk off and then come back to the situation at hand. You got to know how to have an exit point. Okay, you got to learn to have an exit point. What did I mean? I mean, we can't spend forever working on a problem if it's not progressing despite our best effort. This is the point where you exit the battle because you have incurred your maximum loss and you don't want to invest any more time or energy in this. Yes, there will be battles that you do not want to invest time in no more. You have to have an exit point. Let it go. It's taking too much of your energy, negative energy at that. Sometimes you just got to let go, of unresolved problems. You're not going to solve every problem with every person. So it's better off sometimes to let go. Success comes not from winning every battle, but learning to let go when it's time to do so. Somebody got to hear me right there. Success comes not from winning every battle, but learning to let them go when it's time to do so. Just because you stop fighting a problem doesn't mean that you have to let go of it mentally. Now, you mentally, you can deal with it. You ask God to help you with that. But the physical fighting against each other, you have to learn how to let that go. Okay? Take a recess. Regroup. Because our goal is to, in this time, we're in some troubling time. Our goal is to come together. It's been enough separation. We got social distancing. We got people scared to touch each other, scared to shake each other. It's enough going on in the world. So why take on battles, choose battles unwisely? Why just keep and stay in conflict? We can come to some type of common solution because this coronavirus don't have no name on it. Just like bullets don't have a name on it. It takes out whoever is in its pathway. And we all need the grace of God. So we are entering into these unwise battles with each other that ain't going to benefit. And then we'll both come out losers in the end when we can just learn to hear each other out and understand each other a lot better. First, another thing you need to do is how do you let it go? You say you acknowledge your feelings. Don't be in denial. Acknowledge when you're sad, you're angry, and you're disappointed. You acknowledge that to yourself, and you can acknowledge it to the other person, but you can do it in a humble way because you want to not be in denial and keep all of that mess all balled up inside of you, and which is only going to increase the feeling inside of whatever is trying to develop, the negativity that's trying to develop in you. But you need to acknowledge, I feel this way, I'm hurt. Even if you have to leave it at that, I'm sad and I'm disappointed that we didn't work the problem out, but maybe we can revisit another time. But I just want to be true with my own feelings. Don't walk away saying everything okay and it's not okay. That's not going to help the situation. Then you need to understand why you're feeling this way. Dig into the root issue. Maybe you feel disrespected. Maybe the situation confronts one of your fears. Or maybe it deals with something that matters a lot to you. Uncovering the root issue will help you understand and let the problem go. Then you need to get to a point where you work on a new path forward. Identify new ways to move forward. Change your environment. Yeah, some of us need to do that. Move towards what makes you happy. And remember to separate the essential battles from the non-essential battles. Yeah, there are essential battles and there are non-essential battles. Battles that you do not have to take on. Choosing your battles wisely causes you not to feel like every time something come up that you have to fight it. It says here that the battle is not, he said, the battle is not yours in 2 Chronicles, but it's God's. It says I'm more than a conqueror. When I came on the scene, I was a conqueror. Try to come with peace and not war as much as possible. Now you're going to meet people that constantly try to pull you into an argument or a battle, but choose them wisely. Is it really worth it? Is it worth putting all that energy in it? Is it worth turning down the other person? Some people you're just going to disagree with. Learn to walk away, evaluate the situation, walk away from the situation. Some things going to be unresolved, but guess what? You'll walk away with your peace and they'll walk away with theirs. Now, certainly there will be times when you want or need to argue or confront or even fight for something that you believe in. It's going to be times like that. Many people, however, argue and confront and fight over practically anything, turning their lives into a series of battles over relatively small stuff. See, some of us are not satisfied, I say, until they have fought a battle for that particular day. Just like some people not satisfied until drama comes in their life. It's like it's necessary to have that type of drama or they not complete. Their day is not complete without some drama. Some people, their day are not complete unless they did something wrong to hurt somebody else. Some people, their day is not complete unless they did something good for somebody else. I fall in that category. Unless I say something, do something, word, deed, or action to help somebody, I don't feel my day is complete. I believe I'm when I get up in the morning and I go about my day, I believe that God has me on a mission to encourage somebody every single day. Not a day that goes by that I do not encourage or say something positive or do something positive for somebody else. Because listen, it's not about me just choosing my battles wisely. I wake up choosing to be a blessing. And sometimes a battle can be waiting for you and you going into the battle trying to be a blessing and you diffuse the whole battle. It don't even start. You ever just go, people will be waiting for you for conflict and then you show up with love. And you disarm their conflict. Like, wow, I thought they was coming to beef with me. Get things stirred up and they came with understanding and love. Small stuff, we gotta let it go. There's so much frustration in living this type of life. The life I'm talking about, a series of battles over and over again, that you lose track of what is truly relevant. The tiniest disagreement or glitch in your plans can be made into a big deal if your goal is, if in your goal, conscious or unconscious, is everything has to work out in your favor. Sometimes everything not gonna work out the way you want to work out. That ain't a reason to get into these unwise battles. The truth is, life is rarely exactly the way we want it to be, and other people often don't act as we would like them to, moment to moment. There are aspects of life, hear me out, that we like and others that we don't. There are always going to be people who disagree with you, people who do things differently, and things that don't work out. If you fight against this principle of life, you will spend most of your life fighting battles. Understand and accept the fact that people are different from you. People have different views than you. Choose your battles wisely. Your opinion and your view may be different than others. You are not the only wise person on the earth. Think about that. A more peaceful way to live is to decide consciously what battles are worth fighting and which are best left alone. If your primary goal isn't to have everything work out perfectly, instead to live a relatively stress-free life, you will find that most battles pull you away from your most worst feelings. It is really important that you prove to everybody that you're right and they're wrong. No, it's not. People make mistakes. People don't always live up to the standards that we want. Choose your battles wisely. People are different. Different strategies in their minds, different way they do things. Don't get into the battle because everything is not the way you expect it to be. The enemy causes us to lose so many potential relationships and friendships because we are known to jump into unnecessary, unwise battles. Realize again that the Lord has already won the battle. You just try to win men and women to his way and not embrace conflict first. Learn to be more understanding. Learn to hear other people out. Learn to choose your battles, your battles wisely. Know that the Lord has made you a conqueror. So you don't have to come in swinging the sword every time you come into a different situation that's uncomfortable for you. So I encourage you, it's been about 29 minutes, I didn't mean to be this long, to think before you speak, choose your battles wisely, Go for a win-win situation, not a win-lose. Okay? It's okay to disagree and still love each other. Put God first. And don't let the sun go down on your anger. Walk away in peace. Walk away with, some type of understanding. Even if the point of views are different. Shake the brother, sister hand. Hey, we still good. We just had a disagreement. God bless you. May heaven smile upon you. I hope I said something to help you. Remember, choose your battles wisely. And the battle's not yours. It is the Lord's. God bless you until I see you again.